This podcast is sponsored by Darling Eyewear. Activate your alter ego with Darling Eyewear and start seeing life through a different set of lenses. Shop darlingeyewear.com. Tell them Demetrius Lee and Angela Lee in the Lee Life Experience Podcast sent you. Thank you.
Hi, welcome to a new episode of the Lead Life Experience Podcast. You have Angie and Demetrius here, and we will be your hosts for this evening. So we want to tell you, those of you who've been rocking with us, thank you, who have been our A1 since day one. Or if you new here, hey, how you doing? Welcome. Don't keep us to yourself. Don't forget to tell a friend, to tell another friend, and being able to share, like, subscribe, follow, comment to create a dialogue. And I promise you, we will respond back. So, Demetrius, how you doing today?
Doing just lovely, honey bunch. Thank you for asking. How about you?
Great.
That's what I like to hear.
All right. You ready to get straight into it?
What you gonna do today? Let's go. Hey, hold on. We got to tell everybody. Please like, subscribe. Hey, once again, tell your friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Cause we've been getting some good topics coming in. This is a good one today too. And I like this topic you got going on. So y'all please like and subscribe and let people know. Get us out there for everybody to know. So we can help people. And let them know they ain't the one this world going through, they're going through. All right. With that said, let's go, honey butt.
Let's go. Okay. All right. Listen. This email is coming from Jacksonville, Florida. All right. Go Jacksonville, home of Travis Hunter, who just got.
Lord, no.
You all know I'm going to be Colorado. Well, I'm going wherever Dion ain't going, number one. But hey, shout out to Jacksonville Jaguars, that is. My name is Antonio from Jacksonville, Florida. Before I married my wife, she did everything a wife should do: cook, cleaning, being intimate, and being submissive. I truly believe I found someone special. But now that we're married, it feels like she has changed completely. It's as if she used me to get married and then revealed her true color, hiding behind a mask the whole time. To make things more complicated, she is now 8 weeks pregnant. I'm feeling confused and overwhelmed. Thanks for listening. Sincerely, Antonio. Now, Demetrius, I am not quite sure because some things are left out. Antonio, if you're listening, I would love for you to call in.
They put the age or something. They had an age in there.
Nothing's in here about an age, and I don't think even the age matter. But
Yeah.
what really are you wanting for the Lead Life Experience podcast? Are you just wanting to highlight, are you wanting advice because now she's pregnant and that's a whole new transition for you? Or are you highlighting, that, you was married when y'all was dating, you got everything that you wanted. So that's why you proceeded to get married, only for things to change. And to me, I'm gonna take away that's what he concerned about. He said it looked like she revealed her true colors, hiding behind a mask the whole time. So we're gonna talk about just that part, Demetrius. I mean, we can kind of highlight however you want it, but
Sound to me, but you reading that like if it's too good to be true, it ain't true.
Yeah. So I'm gonna break it down. So I'll let you go ahead and start, and then I'm gonna write some notes. I got some notes that I took from that in order to highlight, because like I said, it's still kind of vague on what really you wanting us to kind of address. Go ahead, Demetrius.
Hey Tony, how you doing, man? Hey, my wife just read that thing. It sounded to me, man. I've heard a lot of cases like that in the past. Men and women both do it, and I always say back then, I'll tell people, if it sounds too good to be true, it ain't true. Like somebody come with a good proposition, a good deal, you can make a couple $1 million, just give them $200, they turn to $1 million, and that shit sound good, ain't man? But that shit ain't gonna be true, cool. So I say all that to say I've been in cases like women and men, like the woman, what she did to that man, Angie, she baited him up, gave him what he wanted, then it felt like, she was gonna cook for him, cleaning, she gonna just have sex. And I bet that was the main thing talking about. Well, he didn't say that like that, but she gonna have sex when he get ready. Cause women, most of y'all do that before you get married. Oh, y'all in the bed, laying down, making love, and y'all doing all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Then cooking and cleaning, rubbing me down with baby oil. He did his style. I don't know he had to be there. just playing,
Right.
you know,
Baby
all
oil,
good.
did it got it going on, did it? You ain't the only one did it with the baby oil.
I
It's
did
a
it. I ain't got to do
trend.
with that. I'm staying out there. I'm staying out there.
It's
But yeah, then
a
when you get
trend.
married, y'all change. What something man say? I mean, why would you do that? Why would you bait somebody up? You know, like me and you. I didn't bait you up. I am who I am. I bet no woman can tell you ever talk to me that I try to be something I want. And nobody ever getting with me.
Yeah.
And was that what I was? What I was gonna do? I ain't no gentleman, man. Open up car doors and putting my coat on a mud puddle that you walk across my coat while you get in the car. I ain't doing all that. I ain't no buying roses every Valentine's Day. That just ain't my style. But I do other good things now. But you know, you will see that. But sometimes you get a relationship, people go overkill. They try to like a man, a woman try to cook for you. She try to just sex you to death. She just baby this, baby that. What happened? But that sounded to me, I know I ain't gonna get too much to say use room in that, but that sounds like what he's saying. And y'all women listen to this podcast, y'all know who y'all are now. Y'all know who y'all are. Men, you know, men do it too now. Oh, they paint this picture of these women, how they gonna, they cooking dinner for them. You know, they're taking them out of town, showing them all these lavish trips, just showing them, you know, maybe they doing, this how my life gonna be with him. Soon y'all get married, hey, y'all stop going out of town, start going out back then on the weekend, and then y'all going to McDonald's getting lunch. All that shit out of time gonna play it out. So you got to be careful, people. That's why I tell people take your time to get married. Give him about a good year, 2 years. He can't lie that long. True color gonna come out. So I like to ask him how long would they before they got how long they dated before they got married. I bet you it between 6 months and a year for her to keep that up like that. I just feel like Angie, she set him up. She baited him up. She knew what she was doing. She wanted to get married. She wanted some stability. And like I said, I like to know what kind of job he had. You know, stuff like that. I hate.
Yeah.
Y'all look at me. Y'all right in. I know we ain't trying to get in your personal business, but to make a good, accurate account, you know, I like to know the age. I like to know where you're working at. I mean, like what you're moving there. Then I can try to size up, see what side you on, who right or wrong. You might be wrong in my book, but when you wrote this letter, Tonyo, it sound like it's your woman. So I'm gonna let Angie get a little bit of this here, cause I got some more stuff on top of it. Go ahead, Hunter Bunch. Drop your 2 cents on it. Hey, while you doing that, I tell y'all that my Hunter Bunch right there, when I got married, she didn't bait me up. I know that I married. She was who she was. She don't cook. She will clean, but she throw shit away all the time. She always throwing out stuff she need to be throwing away. I told her, how you gonna throw my bowls and stuff I cook with them? You don't even cook. But I'm saying, I'm cracking joke, but I'm saying, but I know who she is. She is who she is. She ain't trying to beat nobody. She ain't. I with me now. I can't talk about that. Y'all boy here, y'all dated my wife at the time. I didn't know nothing about it. Hey, how y'all treated y'all? I don't know.
I was your
Treat me.
ex-wife at that time. If they
Ex-wife,
dated
ex-wife,
me,
yeah. Ex-wife. I mean, my ex-wife.
say
But
it so it can be correct now. You know
my
how people
ex-wife at the
is.
time, so she baited y'all up. I don't know. She didn't bait me up. She can't correct with me, and I know exactly who I married, and I still to today she is who she was when I met her.
Well, it's gonna be a plot twist because as we was talking, Antonio has emailed again.
Yeah.
So yes, he emailed again. So those of you listen, and even though I didn't say it in the beginning, so he still had the number. So listen, if you want to get your topics heard, don't forget you text 833-370-1608. Put
One more
relationship
time. One more time for him. One more time for him.
do 833-360. See that you made me mess up. Stop
Oh, I'm
telling
sorry.
me. They have to let it roll. I have to roll with it. But if you want to get your topics heard, don't forget you can come on and being able to. And I promise you we will respond. So listen, we just gonna piggyback off what Antonio said because this is what he just emailed the end. He just emailed us back. He said, he said, I feel deceived because my wife's behavior changed after marriage. She no longer fulfills the traditional role of cooking, cleaning, intimacy, and submission, and that she did before. What did he say? He said he feel tricked into marriage, and now he's struggling. Now he's struggling with her pregnancy, adding to the stress. He said
Oh, okay.
now that she's pregnant, it's adding to the stress. So listen, he said they was dating for 9 months before marriage. So they was
Oh,
dating.
9 months. See, I
Yeah.
told you. Did I say? So
Less than
you
a
say
year.
you see? I did not say between 6 months and a year. I
Yeah.
told you that.
Yeah.
I can tell where a woman can go 2 years doing all that. She gonna be herself eventually. Eventually, I've been women that tried that with me for, and then about a year, what happened to all that? Oh, I got tired.
He
No.
said she's 33 and he's 36.
Oh, okay. That's what's up.
Well, y'all at an age that, and it's no right or wrong time to
She
get
having a
married.
baby kind of late, ain't she?
Yeah, she having a baby kind of late, but which is good though. That's probably why she kind of, did it kind of quickly. That's why he
Yeah.
feel bamboozled. So I'm gonna just thank you, Antonio, for listening. I guess you tuning in. You say you tune in. And I thank you for adding a little insight because now that kind of changed the narrative that y'all have been dating for 9 months and that y'all, and I think that that is a significant time. And again, it's been people that met the first time, had sex the first night, and some of them still. It's always that 1%. It's always that 1%. But I'm just gonna give you what I highlighted from what you saying is a complaint. And can we fix it? Yes, you can fix it. But I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna have to go through though. When a woman is pregnant and her body now has adapted, and Antonio said, this y'all first child. This is both of y'all first child. The thing is that her body has to adjust. And because her body has to adjust, you got hormones that you have to get regulated. So things that used to be in fun to her is not gonna be fun anymore. Food that she used to like, she ain't gonna like it anymore. The weird cravings, that's gonna come. The mood swings, that's gonna come because now her body is preparing for another life. And I think those are the things that nobody kind of prepare. Nobody kind of prepared me. Nobody compared, Demetrius, even though Demetrius already had a child previous before I became pregnant, but nobody sat down and talked to us on the changes that a woman go through only until you go through them. So I feel that Antonio saying he was embraced with some unmet expectations, Demetrius. That
Yeah.
he entered a marriage off the assumption that, she was already doing these things. And again, we be dating representative. And I'm saying I am not that person. I haven't did it. I didn't do it. Even when I was dating, I didn't do it. Who I showed up to be, I showed up as Angie. And I think sometime I overly did that. Probably the reason why I was single and Demetrius and I reconciled because I was still being my normal self. If I was a manipulator, if I was a person that was out there that did some of the stuff, act like I'm cooking and cleaning and knowing that that's not who I am. Cause you all have to, granted, not everybody is a clean person. Not everybody is a hoarder. Not everybody is OCD. Not everybody, has or came from the environment to being able to be submissive. It is a lot of strong-minded women, and you'll see them with they can't be with the alpha male because two alphas can't get along. Somebody has to be able to minimize off of it because everybody can't be headstrong. That's why they say opposites attract because two savers can't quite be together and get along well. It has to be a saver and a spender. You would want two savers, but then how things gonna be purchased if everybody's saving? And you don't need two spenders either, because that means who gonna have money if everybody's spending? So it kind of, those things that you all need to talk about kind of like early in the relationship. And I know it's taboo because people don't talk about finances early in a relationship. People don't talk about the desire of want kids early in a relationship. They don't talk about, you know, what your hopes and dreams is all early in a relationship. And it's kind of like, things just happen, but only after you have become intimate, only after you have been together for a while, like, oh well, you know what, we've been kicking it and we ain't going nowhere, so we might as well do it. But the missus, once you do it, then you realize that, hey, that person ain't as attracted to me as it was when we were dating. Or you start looking at other things, the missus, something else might got her attention. I'm not saying that. I don't know. I'm just communication breakdown. Instead of discussing the changes, he assumed when he said malicious intent. Like just because he married to her, do that automatically mean that okay, if I'm not cleaning, he's gonna clean it? Those things need to be communicated. Okay, are y'all making enough money to be able to get a housekeeper to come in? Because the mistress, if she don't want to do these tasks anymore, especially now since she's pregnant, do she have money to contribute? Because the house still got to get clean.
Yeah.
So it is some ways around that you still can meet the goal. And I think that's the biggest thing with relationship because we're not talking to each other, Demetrius. And I'm saying it because even when you and I was together the first time, we didn't talk and we didn't have that open line of communication because I know it would have saved us. But if neither one of us are talking and neither one of us are trying to make the common goal, then the mutuals, of course, we're gonna keep talking to all these outside people, and we're never gonna get a solution. because everybody can give you their advice, Demetrius, but until they get in there with that particular person, that particular situation, then it's easy. It's just like talking out the side of your neck. Oh, I wouldn't put up with that. Demetrius, how would you know? You're not in there. How would you know? So it's easy for people
Yeah.
to talk about that and give, reckless advice. So Antonio, thank you for calling in. And then I already talked about the pregnancy stress, the timing amplified the frustration. Sometimes getting pregnant, pregnancy one thing about pregnancy, you all, and I know, people say it's the girl, she can control it. God really is the one in control. God can He wanna know what timing is best. And I can almost promise you, I can count the people who really said they life was totally 100% and they was ready for a child. They might wasn't doing anything to stop, not have a child. Because even when Demetrius and I was trying for our son, we were trying, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Okay, you know what? It hadn't happened." So I got back on birth control. By the time I got back on birth control, they were like, "Oh, you what? Wait a minute, I'm just getting back on the I'm just getting back on the I have the pills." Well, no, I was getting the IUD. And they was like, "Oh, too late. You can't do this one." And I'm thinking like, "Oh my gosh." But that's what I'm saying, Demetrius, you can't say God's, that if God don't mean for something to kind of take place, you have to it don't always have to be a perfect solution. Your situation's not gonna be ideal, 100% perfect for you to start, making those changes and growing your family. And the lack of empathy. It says marriage is viewed as transactional rather than a partnership and adapting to life changes. That's what I had wrote down even when I did my research. So when I said it lacked empathy, that if these changes came because of her being pregnant, Demetrius, then I can understand. But if these changes came before the pregnancy, even if she waited, immediately after she got said I do and went cold turkey, then that's a setup.
That's how I take it. It sounds like he's saying that woman, they were good and good to be married and all hair, but then now she pregnant. Now
Now she
that
pregnant.
goes along with it too. So how
Yeah,
you
but
feel
that's
about
what
this?
I'm saying. But that's what I'm asking. Did she all of these things like the submissive and all the intimacy, did that start after the marriage? I'm talking about immediately after marriage, and then later on she got pregnant, or time
Yeah.
y'all yeah, evidently she got
I'm
pregnant
gonna
on
go soon and
honeymoon.
start after he got married to her. She changed though. That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah,
I
and
could
then
be wrong
it
now. It could have been later on time she got pregnant, but how you feel about the sexual part? Intimacy. Why y'all women do that? It's all good and great. We lay in the bed, we lay in the wood having sex, then we get married. I don't feel like it.
I don't
Let's
know.
do it in the morning.
Well, like I said, Demetrius, your roles change because when you dating, y'all not concrete. Y'all might, we can. I'm just gonna say like even you and I when we was in California, you and I was talking, but Demetrius, I could have not saying that we didn't want a long distance relationship, even though we were not on that level yet. But say that we had a date a little while longer. Say we had a date a little while longer, and that still wasn't what I wanted. I'm talking about rushing to have sex wasn't on my agenda. And then I feel like if that was my take on it, then it should be nice and understandable. But say that we did have sex. And then all of a sudden, Demetrius, I was having sex with you, wild, crazy. We were doing anywhere, anytime, and spontaneous. Then all of a sudden, Demetrius, we get married, and then nothing.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. So I don't know, do women just like lose it altogether? But again, she 33, so I don't see hormone hormones may or may not have taken it those kind of changes. So that's why I said, and I think we done covered this over a previous podcast. When people make those kind of drastic changes, Demetrius, you have to ask, okay, have they lost interest in that person? And I said this when you and I was talking about something else not too long ago. Demetrius, you can't talk in a derogatory way or mistreat me or mishandle me and then expecting that I'm gonna be loving up to you and I'm gonna want to have sex with you or make love to you. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Even if you did it last month and I'm still carrying it, even if we hadn't talked about it, It could be some underlying issues like that you said something, you talked to him, or you talked at her, or you talked in a degrading talk, and you done forgot about it, but Demetrius, she's still harping on it. That's where the lines of communication come in. If you don't have those lines of communication, you are carrying it, or she's carrying it. He don't even know, because he done went on and he done forgot about what happened. So that's why lines of communication is open, because if it was me, that Demetrius, I got married, and then all of a sudden you was like, "You're not having sex with me anymore." Who you having sex with?
Yeah.
And if you're not having sex with anybody, or I'm watching your other patterns, like, you could just not be doing nothing and you're not just in the mood. It could be something that we need to, okay, like it's medication, because again, certain things can be health related without it being another person. So I wanna research all the options, Demetrius. I'm gonna be watching you. I'm gonna see, like, hey, is he entertaining any extracurricular activities? Like, why he ain't having sex with me?
$100, you ain't gonna have to worry about that. I tell
I'm just
you,
only saying that if
we
it
just gonna let
was.
them know when I get 90. When I get 90 years old, what I'm gonna do? Tell them I'm gonna be 90 years old with a cane in my hand. I'm gonna be coming to that room, and just it's about that time. I'm gonna take my little pill. On my body, I hope I be in shape. That pill work. So we good to go. Tonyo, take notes, man. I'm teaching you something, man. Go ahead, $100. I'll let you finish what you're doing.
I'm writing down what you said. I mean, I wrote down.
You read that what I say
No,
about the when I
not
get 90 years old. That's right, baby.
no.
That's right. Hold me to it. Hold my feet to the fire.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
but,
All right,
but, let me ask you a question. I mean,
go ahead.
I'm gonna be the question. I'm gonna ask you a question.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going. He say
Yeah.
she cooked and cleaned. Why would she stop? Why would she get married? I don't want to cook and clean no more. Where'd that come from? I understand the sexual part. You said you might have a problem with something he did. Where the cook and cleaning come from? I
But
mean,
that's
what?
but that's what I'm saying, Demetrius. I don't really know, because
Well,
again,
give me a good example. Why would a woman do that? Why would she
but
just?
I
Why would
can't. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You always asking me like why I don't know, because I haven't did it. I don't know. You tell me why you think. I don't know.
I know why a man would act like he a gentleman, trying to bait the woman up to get it, get what he want from her.
Well,
That's just a
okay,
game.
then well, maybe she did the same thing. Maybe it goes the same way. Maybe it goes the same way. I don't know, because that's not me. I don't do it. I can't relate, because I feel like if a person is clean, they either clean all the time. You could be, like I said, you could be a hoarder and you having a hard time separating from things. But for you to just stop cleaning altogether, for you to stop having sex altogether, for you to do, I can see you changing one or two things. But for you to go drastic and then don't do anything. And when he's saying submissive, I mean, when you saying submissive, Antonio, I'm just a little curious on your wording, because when you saying submissive, do you mean like doing everything that you say when you saying it? Because I don't. My definition of submissive and what.
I'm thinking probably talking. I'm thinking talking about sex again. He gave us some. She would follow him like he was a leader.
Well,
She let him lead. Whatever he say, she went along with it. But now I think she stepped on her ground. Now I ain't doing that. That's what I think. Now
well,
you go
like I
ahead.
said, even if that's the case, then I still would say, when you get to a point, no matter who it is, what it is, you still desire something in somebody. And when you get to a point that you feel like you don't need nothing and nobody anymore, we're not gonna want to be in this world by ourselves. So if you're gonna change, why not change for the betterment of a person that you already have some kind of connection with? A lot of times we would throw, like this guy had told me, Angie, I worried about the 10% instead of looking at the other 90 that you had. And because of that, I'm going to use that scenario. Steve Harvey said it, that when we as people, we'll look at all the other things that we think people should have. And whatever was to turn off, Demetrius, that's what make us go outside the relationship. That is what make us, get stagnant and start thinking that we are not in no good relationship. That's some of the times why we take our relationship for granted. That Demetrius, we forget that we have to cope. And when I'm saying court or date, and when I'm saying court, I should say, court each other, date each other, still going out together, and some people done have gotten away from that. But when I see older people that still do it, and we went to Costco's today. Look how many older people you see husband and wife together. because that is one of their routines. Your mom, them is in their 70s, late 70s and early 80s. They still do it. So why would y'all young men think that y'all are exempt and want to be stuck in your ways and don't think, oh, I'm having to spend no time or make no time at all? And I think that's a false belief that if you're going to create an environment and you want to be married by paper or you want to be married to say you have somebody in the household, but both of y'all living individual lives, I don't think it. There is too much room for somebody else to come by. And if attention, affection, and appreciation is not getting met, somebody's going to wander off. That's just my belief. And if you're not going to do it, then you can cut out all the extra talking with other people and being able to talk. Your mate really can be your best friend. And I hear people say, no, I get tired of them. I hate them.
Oh Lord.
They don't want to be. But I have seen people who really love being with each other. You know, so when I see other people, and I'm saying it's other couples that Demetrius that we have that's in a healthy marriage and a healthy, when I'm looking at them like, oh my gosh. Or when I see them in the mercy room, and they've been there and I'm looking at their chemistry and they've been married. One couple they had been married 50 years and I'm looking at them like, wow, how did it get to that part? I seen an older white couple, they've been married, Demetrius, she's like 65.
Yeah.
They had to get married, Demetrius, in their younger years. When I'm saying young, I'm talking about like 17, 18 years for them to be like older now. So when I'm seeing it and I'm saying it, Demetrius, I know, or my takeaway from the evaluation is somebody had to sacrifice. The husband and the wife came together for an agreement. They compromised. And somebody said, we're not gonna make nobody big and nobody little. We are a couple. We are partnership. We are teammates. That's how I think a marriage should be. But if somebody keep want to be overhead, somebody keep want to be in control of them, the mistress is never gonna work. It's gonna be hard because when you do that, and when they person whomever, if it's an alpha woman that's trying to control a very weak man, or a man that she feel like that she can control and manipulate, he gonna go, and it gonna bust her heart. The man, if he a strong alpha man and he think he got a weak, minute woman that she's gonna be able to take it, and every time she say jump, she say how high? Yeah, that'll be able to last for a little while. But Demetrius, that diary of a mad black woman, I'm telling you, when God changed those things around, you won't always be that powerful person. And you gonna want to know that when you mistreat somebody, when you mistreat them, is it gonna come back full circle? Because I pray that if God allow in my older age, God allow me to stay in my right mind as long as I can.
How old are you now, the bunch?
I'm 49. But if
She's about 50,
anything,
about 50 years old. Okay.
yeah, we
Now
can
go
say,
ahead.
yeah. Hmm. But you can say it however you want. You can say it however you want to say it. But I'm just only saying that in my 49 years of living, I want to treat people the way I want to be treated. Because if I want to manipulate and control, and when God do let me age, and if I don't age gracefully, and something happened and I got to depend on somebody to change my diaper, somebody to help me put my clothes on and walk, and you done been a hellion here on earth, Mitch, how do you think that's gonna carry over? So that's the reason why, though, the word of submission and being in control. No, what about talking about being equal? What about letting somebody having a say so, and you all creating a dialogue and being able to ask, when Demetrius say, Angie, what you want to eat? He's giving me a choice of what I want to eat. He's not telling me, oh, you have to eat this hamburger. Oh, you gonna eat this hamburger.
But you've been around people like some people like that, Angie. They like to be told what to
Yes,
do.
I
Some people
know.
like that. So I ain't
I
knocking
know.
y'all.
Wait a minute. Exactly what you can be control. I mean, Demetrius, you can, even though you have control, that don't mean you should do it. You
That's
still
right.
ought to give people ownership, because when you and I split up, Demetrius, you know how a lot of times I got bamboozled because even though I was older, I still was operating off a child mind, and I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying where I was. Things I'm supposed to know I didn't know because I never had to do it. So these folks, when you don't let people make their own mind up and teaching them, it's all right if you're going to educate me about life. But if you're going to take all my voice away, if you're going to suppress my thoughts, you're going to suppress my idea, you gonna let me just go to work and you gonna take my entire check? You gonna tell me what to wear, when to wear it, how to wear it, and you're not giving me any identity of my own self? That means that if I get out there and somebody else boosts my head up enough to believe a little bit in me, then guess what? I'm gonna fall again. Same thing I told you about our grandchildren. You don't let them leave out the house and then you thinking, oh, well, I don't want to talk to them because they're too young. If you don't talk to them and you love them, what you think the streets gonna do? I'm just saying the same
Can
thing.
I ask some more to you?
Yeah.
I'm asking more like well in my mind. I'm getting on.
Yeah.
You say something caught me early. Like people like you said, maybe play one way. I must let that thing go the other way too. I've been involved in that. You come in a relationship and you being a wild person, and the person still married. As soon as you change and become a better person, they cut up on you. They want to leave you. I never understood that. Now explain that to me. Like you saying that earlier. Like I said, you coming out, a woman married a man, he been doing all kind of stuff. She stick by. So when the man turned to a church going man, a good husband, and she want to cut up on him. But while he was doing wild stuff, she stayed there with him.
But that's what I'm saying, Demetrius, about what people are being used to. If they been used to you cutting up, acting a fool, and that's how you got them, you just said it. How I got Angie, she done stayed the same way. But if I was out there being rowdy and if I was out there being hood, if I was out there doing those things, then if that's what attracted you, that's what you're gonna like.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, I see.
Ain't no
That's a bad
right,
way to like somebody like that. You like somebody like that, but you're married, and the person turns to a good person, you don't want to be with them.
Well, we see it all the time.
Yeah.
We know people who have been out there in the street, and guess what? They gotta hope to God, God changed their life, and then the man not happy or the wife not happy. Like I liked him better when he was out there in the street running around, and then want to convert them back to being in the street. It's the same way. Just like when I said about drinking, I said, "Well, Demetrius, I'm not gonna drink." You was like, "Well, Angie, you really don't drink that much. You still can go ahead and drink." I say, "No, my mind was made up. I'm not drinking." That don't mean that.
How about me? You like me better than not drink? You like me drinking?
No, I like you better not drinking because now you cutting that tongue of yours. It ain't as sharp, and when you saying all kind of things, and when people drink, Demetrius, the alcohol takes over, and it'll be another side of them. And that's why when you drink, I even told our son this. When you going places and you're around everybody drinking, you need to not drink. Somebody in the group need to be sober so they can know what's going on. But if everybody wilding out, if everybody turn up, if everybody pre-gaming, it's a young lady, Demetrius, all of them was in a car, they was friends. The young lady got out the car and started dancing and twerking. Her and one of the girls was mad. Don't you know that girl came on and went ahead and ran through the red light and killed her? I mean, unalived her.
Hold on. She got the car at the red light.
She was in the car with all of them was friends, but they had two cars and some kind of way they had, something, happened. And then she got out the one car and started twerking and dancing, cause alcohol on board.
Yeah.
And the other girl who came, I don't know if she saw her or not, but of course by the camera, it looked like she should have saw her. And guess what? Went ahead and hit her and left her there. So that's what I'm saying. People can be malice and be up under you, be right there in your circle. So when you're talking about an intimate partner, it's people right now. Don't you know it's a lot of sleeping with the enemy? You remember when Julie Roberts made that movie in Abbeville, South Carolina?
Yes, I remember that.
Well, sleeping with the enemy, that's a real thing. That you can be laying next to the bed with somebody and you can hate them or you can not like them or y'all views could come so far apart or the love can turn to hate. For when you and I was married the first time and then we got a divorce, that love turned to hate. And then for us to get married again, like where'd it come from? So yeah, definitely that.
I tell you one thing, Antonio, I'm talking Antonio. Antonio, you got us all over the place with this thing here because that's a tough topic you got there. But I'm telling you, man, she right. I don't know your wife or name, whatever, but you got to talk to her. Communicate. I don't know she do that. Kind of weird for somebody to do that. I think unless you, man, I don't know you got some money on you or something. That's kind of weird for a woman just to do that, go all that, then marry you, then change you like that. Then get a baby by you. Unless you're trying to lock you in, you must be a successful man or something. I don't know, brother. Only you know that when I'm doing this podcast, but man, I'm gonna tell you, Antonio, I know a lot of people. I got a lot of friends been through that for both sides, women and men. So that game been going for years. People always got that mask on. That's why I always wearing a mask. Have I wore a mask? Yeah, I wore a mask a couple times. I put one on, trying to get what I want, but I took it off. Eventually, I took it off. Maybe a day or two. I don't like hiding. I'm who I am. And I learned people like me who I was. I try to be somebody else. They didn't really like that. They can tell that I guess they can see right through that. So, Tonyo, I hate you went through that, brother. But I ask you to just talk to your wife. Sit down with her and talk to her. Don't drastic move. Don't go out there, cause people listen to this podcast. They know what you're going through, brother. And whoever listens to this podcast, men or women, is that going on in your life right now? Talk to your spouse or your boyfriend or girlfriend and tell them they'll go change. And maybe that's who they is. If you can't deal with it, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Me, my little honey bunch, I can deal with honey bunch. Honey bunch can't cook. I ain't throwing on her, I ain't beating her up. But I knew that before I married her. But I love to cook. So, it worked out good. Come down to sex, she love to have sex with daddy. I can't blame her for that. but I told but hey, I told her. When I already told her, she know I ain't joking. When I get 8 or 9, we still gonna do it. I know y'all gonna say, you don't sit your look at man. They're making Viagra, all kind of new Cialis. I'm gonna get it in. I'm gonna get my wife a pill too. So I say all that, y'all. I'm gonna let my wife close this thing out. I can't before I get out of hand. Tonyo, you started this mess, man. But hey, man, that's a good topic, Tonyo. And I hope this message find you well, man. Like I say, on my hair, talk to your wife. You got a baby coming. So you can't just open the lead. Explain to her. You can get half of that back. Just try to get half of it back. That's better than knowing, man. All right, honey, but I'm gonna let you go and close it out, Tonyo. I ain't gonna beat a dead horse.
All right. Antonio, thank you so much for sharing your story. And marriage transition can be tough, especially with a new baby on the way. Those is already a dynamic change from going from dating to being married, because that's a contract. Whether
Oh
people want
yeah.
to believe it or not, that is a contract. And not only is a contract for you, it's a contract for you, her, and God, whomever your higher power is, but God is ours. So, and that's what I'm just gonna use. But being able to pray about some things, don't go and be inviting all kind of other people. When I'm saying like friends, be very careful telling friends and family about
Yeah.
situation early on, because y'all marriage is fresh. You have to learn, because again, your parents, they're your parents. So of course they're gonna be on your side. They're your parents. So try to let that be the very last resort when you having issues, with your significant other. If you have a friend, male or female, that's strictly platonic now, strictly, nothing that you can kind of get advice from, that I prefer to be they in a healthier place than you, then those are advice I would seek. A preacher, somebody who have some good godly morals and foundation to be able to encourage you. Because a lot of times when I was taking advice, the people I was talking to, they wasn't married, they did not have any foundation of a long-term relationship, and so the counsel that I received was not wise. In the Bible, God says seek wise counsel, and by seeking wise counsel, he is meaning somebody who's stronger, braver, know more than we do, in order to lead us, lead his flocks. So look for you a good shepherd. Reality check, marriage changed the dynamics, a normal role is shifted. And again, fatigue, hormones, with her. So you got to give her a little grace, because like I said, the foreign person, and with you all moving so fast, unfortunately, you'll never get that particular girl back. And I know it's hard, and it's very hard, because as your body transition, now you have to move the dynamics that as her body is preparing for the birth, then the baby gonna come. Then those dynamics, she's never gonna get her total life back. And I think, she got some separation anxiety will be there. But please stay close, because postpartum is a thing, and miscarriage is a thing. So be very, very careful, and being extremely emotional. You don't want your child to be emotional because of what the mama is feeling during these first trimester. I'm telling you, those are very delicate times. And unfortunately, African Americans doing paternal, they are the most ones that pass away. They have a very high mortality rate of the amount of African Americans that lose their life during childbirth. And I'm saying it because I didn't know until I became a nurse how deadly, and you hear it on the news all the time. So be very, very careful with that. Make sure y'all stay stay awake, see who y'all around. Talk to her, not at her, talk to her. Don't be us talking the condescending way, you know, do something nice for her, go to dinner, whatever her favorite things were, kind of rekindle what made y'all bring y'all together in the first place. Because again, when we're dating, we go and do those little extra. But then when you get married, oh, he's coming home, she's coming home, and we get we do things in routine. We're forgetting that going to do those special things that made us fall in love in the first place. So find something that that she liked, and then let her look at you and say, "Oh, baby, you remember?" Because I'm telling you, when Demetrius do it to me, I was like, "Oh," and then I'm a special call this out. He had went on a trip with the guys, and he had brought me t-shirts back, and I was like, "Oh, thank you so much." I said, "Somebody must have to tell you." He was like, "No, such and such buying his wife one," so I just I went ahead to just pick you one up. And and I'm telling you, it was no big deal to him, but I kept raving about it because number one, he normally don't do it. And so when he did those special things, and I'm hoping that, because he did those things, that should help saying, "You know what? Maybe when I do go on a trip, know to bring my wife something back." He knows she likes shot glasses as collector's items, and she knows she'll wear a t-shirt.
Oh, you will use some shot glass. You just
Yeah.
use them too.
Hey, it might not be a shot in there, but I will use them. And then setting expectations. You all, when we in a relationship, we need to set expectations because a lot of times we just take for granted that people know. Demetrius always nudging me. Angie, just because somebody you think they know, just because they such and such, they don't always know. Talk to them in ways they understand. Make sure verbal, like, let them tell you. So make sure both of y'all on the same page. You
Same
want
accord.
same accord. So being able to talk about those things, being so y'all can set the expectations on what is our marriage contract. If twice a week is good enough for you, and maybe y'all was a person like y'all young, y'all was getting it in every day, and I I can admit I remember those days. But as again, you going to work now, y'all up under one roof, and I'm sure sharing responsibilities or whatever, the dynamic, y'all a little more busier than normal. Sit and talk about what is a good number of days to have sex. It's if it's 2 days, out the week, you know,
Shit. I say about 4.
but for okay, well, being able to, sit there. So again, you all have to communicate that depending on what her schedule is, how she's working, what she's doing, and y'all come to agreement on it. Talk to her and say feeling see how she feeling, care about this pregnancy. When your body is changing, she's gonna go through those emotional that she feel like she's unattractive. Please keep reassuring her she look good. Even when she's swollen, she looks good. Even when she's gaining weight, she look good.
Even her
So
feet fat
yeah,
nose. She look
yeah,
good.
fat
Yeah.
nose and feet. I mean, nose and ankles are the biggest things. So making sure that you um confirm your love and attraction for her, because those things are huge. And then if all else fail, like I said, go to counseling. Get with you all somebody who you can trust. If you're not, pay for a counselor. I think I paid $99 one time when I was seeking counseling. So to help y'all navigate to those feelings. Demetrius and I have been in counseling. Even with being married, and the one of the homework assignments was learning each other love languages. Demetrius like didn't have a clue. He didn't read the homework assignment. I'm like, hey, the lady gave us a homework assignment, but he didn't know it was a such thing as love languages. Find out what y'all love languages are. If you're a person, and if especially since you're talking about sex, I can tell you more of a physical person. If she's a person that she has cut all those things off, see if she's a person that's big on affirmations, and so y'all can meet in the middle and being able to get your relationship back. And I promise you, these are only some little small nuggets that you all can get together and y'all can fix them. But avoid shaming, avoid talking in a condescending talk. avoid being frustrated because it's easy to do, and that'll make each other go opposite directions. Because if we're not talking to each other, we're talking to somebody else. So you all create that safe haven up under your roof. Don't go out here talking to everything, everybody, and saying it to everybody who will listen. And then when you all do come happy, those people on the outside that you talk to, they're gonna remind you, and they are not gonna be forgiving, but y'all gonna be the forgave. Like Demetrius and I. Not everybody is happy that him and I got back together. And even when we was at a event recently, and I was like, I felt the people looking at me, piercing my skin. And when I said something to Demetrius, he was like, "I don't give a and so I'm just saying, so be mindful that when you have Demetrius and I have forgiven each other, even after that 10-year gap, it's still people who still haven't forgiven me or him for the things that we said are in our life that we aired out in public. So, hey, it is what it is. Demetrius, have anything to close?
All right, Antonio, just hey, give us an update, man. That's all I want to say, man. Everybody listen to the podcast. I always say it beginning and end. Subscribe and like. We appreciate it. We need to reach everybody we can reach. Thank y'all.
All right, you have heard the Lead Life Experience podcast. And again, if you like something that you heard, or if you want to be able to get your topics heard or being a guest, or being able to add your dialogue, you want to text us at 833-370-1608. Put relationships in the comment, and being able to put relationships without a S. This is the Lead Life Experience podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and create a dialogue by commenting. Hi, everyone. I hope you have enjoyed the episode so far. You are here with the Lead Life Experiences. And remember, if you want to get your topics discussed or get our opinion or our perspective, join us at text us at 833-370-1608 and put relationships in the comment.